You are listening to episode 23 of the Framed Solutions podcast. Hey, welcome yet to a brand new episode. I'm your host, Dr. Faith Elizabeth Nanyonga. If you're listening in today, I'd like to take this minute to thank you for each and every time that you tune in to listen to me as I teach about career development and personal development. Your support is invaluable to me, and I don't take it for granted. If it's your first time here, welcome to the Frame Solution podcast. And if you'd like to be a fan, there are 3 ways you can support this show and spread the love. Every single share, subscribe count matters, so do not think your efforts go unnoticed. The first way you could support this show is by leaving a review in Apple Podcasts. Reviews not only make the world a better place for me as the podcast gets to many ears, but also rank our podcast higher in the podcast charts. You can subscribe to this podcast so that you do not miss out any episode as they are released. And also, you could choose to be a guest on the podcast by sending in an email. The email address is theframesolutions@gmail.com. Thank you once again. Welcome yet to a brand new episode. In today's episode, I'd like to talk about one thing. And this one thing is, there is no one-size-fits-all career path. I know this topic sounds controversial, but I'm going to break it down to you and tell you exactly what I mean. So, as you grow up, you get to high school. After high school, you might go do an undergraduate or a diploma. From a diploma, they expect you to get a job. I mean, your parents, your peers, your family and friends, they expect you to get a job. And after getting a job, you end up working. And with working, you advance your career, leave the entry level, get to the mid, then continue up the ladder until you get to the senior or an executive in your organization. I know this has been the norm in the past because that's how the traditional career ladder was. And that's how it's been for many years. But in this episode, I'd like to tell you that this has changed. Many things have led to this, including globalization, industrialization, change in work-life balance, change in what skills are being looked for, change in dynamics of work. Let's think about it. 2020 happened, and many of us had to embrace working from home, change of working conditions, virtual offices were made, Zoom became the norm. So a lot has changed in the workforce, and this necessitates us to adapt to the changing conditions and the changing lifestyle or changing way of running businesses and work. So there is no one-size-fits-all career path. Whether you decide to be an expert in your field, you go up and study, get a PhD, or continue up until you become a professor, or you might decide to switch from career to career, or you might even decide to drop your current expertise and your current career path and adopt a new one. It's all that has happened. And what exactly matters is you. You matter in choosing an intentional career path that you'd like to take. You need to sit down and evaluate exactly what you're looking for in a career and pursue a career that fits your intentions, that fits your skills, that fits your expertise, your interests, and your big vision. As you may know, I've already talked about it in many of the previous episodes, but my gospel when it comes to career development is choosing a career path that aligns with who you are. And to do this, you need to be intentional in choosing your career path. Being intentional means that you zero down on your interests, you zero down on your skills, you zero down on your passions, you zero down on your vision, on those exact roles or opportunities that light you up, the topics that you want to talk about every single day of your life, and you're not worried about what people will think. You're not worried whether you'll be knowledgeable as you speak about them, and you're not even bothered to stop talking about them. The kind of work that you think about and you're like, oh my goodness, I could do this for the rest of my life and I'll be contented. That's exactly what you need to do. And what has happened in the past is that we've let the culture norms and we've let our parents, we've let our peers, the society dictate what career professions we're taking or what jobs you're taking, because you're like, oh, I do not want to let down my parents. I don't want to let down the people who believe in me. How will society perceive me? I'm getting paid at this job. It's paying my rent. It's keeping a roof over me. And I might have to move in with my parents. I might have to be broke for some time. And this is keeping many of us in jobs that are not fulfilling. So in this episode, I would like to tell you, for you to get out of this rut, you need to figure out exactly what you want out of your career and pursue it relentlessly without giving up. So being intentional means that you zero down on your interests, your values, your skills, your expertise, and the kind of work that lights you up. So for you to do this, I'm going to give you some of the tips that I give people that I coach and the tips that I've used in my own career over the years to get me to a point whereby, you know what? Every single day I look forward to going to my work because I find my work fulfilling. One of the things that I've done is getting to know exactly what I want out of a career. I'll do an episode about this. I think it will be the next episode, talking about the key areas that you could look at in your career path to make sure that the work you're doing is meaningful. So without digressing, the second point I'd like to talk about is it's about ignoring everyone else's opinions in your career and going after exactly what you want. I recall at the start of my career, many people were like, oh, I don't think you should do that. I think you should do this. Like many people were trying to tell me what direction I wanted to take in my career. But what I wanted was outside what they were telling me. And I followed exactly what I wanted out of my career because I knew that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to pursue the study of viruses. I wanted to study how viruses could be leveraged to make drugs and vaccines and treatment for many diseases. And exactly that's what I did for my career because every day I could wake up and I could read about a virus and I'm like, wow, these organisms are very fascinating. And that's the kind of job I'm doing right now because it aligns with exactly where I see myself. So it's good to ignore everyone's opinion and follow exactly what you want out of your career. As you do this, you'll find happiness in your career path. You'll find yourself being happy because you're following exactly what you want to do and your work lights you up and you're happy every single day to wake up and go to work. So the last thing I would like to tell you today is that for you to build a meaningful career, one thing that you need to do is you need to believe that you have the capability and the means within you to build that career, regardless of what everyone else is saying, regardless of what your peers are saying, what your parents are saying, what your community is telling you. You have to look into yourself and believe in your capabilities. And belief is not just about you saying, oh, I believe in what I'm good at. I believe I'm good at this. It's about believing in yourself and putting in the work. Because if you believe and you don't do the work, you're not going to get anywhere. And one thing I would like to tell you in this episode, as I concluded, is that sit down today and get a piece of paper. Get yourself a notebook that you can write in all the different aspects of your career. It might be a fancy book or just a mere A4 notebook or A5. Write down questions that come into your mind in regards to your career. Ask yourself this question: where am I in my career? Am I happy at my current job? Am I happy in my current career path? Where do I see myself a year from now? If I didn't let anyone hinder me from pursuing what I want to pursue, would I be happy? And how would that life or that career path look like if I didn't let my fears, people's opinions, people's say, your weaknesses, your inherent fears stop you from pursuing your career? Ask yourself this question: if I didn't let anyone's opinion, my own personal fears, and my own inhibitions stop me from pursuing my career, what would I do to get where I want to go? What would make me move ahead in my career? If you can answer this question, you'll be on your right path to building a career that is meaningful for you. In a nutshell, building an intentional career path zeroes down to you, your interests, your weaknesses, your strengths, your goals, your vision, your passions, and only you. Number 2, you have to understand exactly what kind of work lights you up. What kind of opportunities make you happy? What exactly do you want to pursue? Number 3, you have to believe in your own capabilities. You have to believe that you have the means in you to pursue a career that's meaningful for you and only for you. I hope you've learned something from this episode. And if you have, please rate and review wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe to this podcast. Share it with your family, friends, and those that you think are interested in career development. Also, follow me on the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. The username is The Frame Solutions. I can't wait to speak to you in the next episode. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.